History has been made for a second time. I got to play guitar with no other than Post Malone again. And this is ultimately the highlight of 2023. What's up everyone? It's your guy Anthony, bringing you back another video. If anybody is new to the channel, welcome and thank you so much for tuning in. And make sure you do me a solid and hit that subscribe button. Okay, so I'm not gonna spoil too much right now, so sit back, relax, and enjoy my story. Alright guys, it's Friday, July 21st, 2 days before the concert, and there's something I want to show you all. You already know I made another poster to play guitar with Post Malone again. But this time I put pictures of me and him together on that night, me playing the guitar with him, and also the selfie I took with him. And also over here I wrote, "If I don't, I'd be crying." Now, a friend of mine gave me this idea to put on my poster, and I think it's a pretty good idea because the name of his tour is "If Y'all Weren't Here, I Would Be Crying." So I think this would go well. Now this, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be my third attempt trying to play the guitar with him. Last year, it's crazy how it's almost been 1 year that I played guitar with him for the first time ever in my life. And it's not going to hurt that I'm gonna try doing it for a second time. My plan is going to be the same exactly as last year. I'm gonna get there super early. I'm gonna try to get a spot super close that's right in front of him so he can see my poster, and just hoping for the best.
2 days later.
Okay guys, time check. It's 10 o'clock in the morning and they don't open their gates until 3 o'clock, so I'm gonna be waiting for at least another 5 more hours. And luckily there's a restaurant depot right next to the theater. And I'm just gonna be hanging out here until they start letting people pull into the parking lot. So far, it's only me. I don't see any other people showing up for the show. Yeah, at this point, it's just a waiting game.
Eventually.
Hartford, how the f we feeling tonight? Thank you so much to my man. If you can help both of us out, I need everyone to turn on their flashlights on. Let's light this place up. Let's fucking go.
Don't count on me to stay longer if you can.
The next day.
Well guys, it's the next day, and I am proud to say I have made history for a second time. I played guitar with Post Malone in front of 30,000 people. That was insane. Well, I didn't leave empty-handed. I got his guitar pick, and he also signed my poster. I also took a few pictures with him, and a bunch of other people I met at the concert, they also sent me all the pictures and the videos they took of me playing the guitar with him. It's unbelievable I've done this again 9 months later, and it's just a surreal moment. I got to play guitar with him for a second time. I went all the way to Hartford, Connecticut to see him play at the Xfinity Theater, and that was actually the closest show that he was playing nearby where I lived. At first, I was thinking about not going to his show, and then right as he starts his tour, I've seen a bunch of people online posting about his show, and it made me think twice about it, and then I decided to buy a concert ticket last minute. And this was by far the best last minute decision I've made. So I've done the same exact thing like I've done last year. I showed up early to the venue hours before the show even started. So we're talking about 9:30 in the morning. And I was dedicated to get up on stage again. I ended up being the very first person to show up there and just wait for this moment to happen again. Unfortunately, I was not able to get into the parking lot as soon as I arrived to the venue. I was told by the parking attendant that I had to wait at a different parking lot that was right next to the venue. It was a long wait. It didn't really bother me as much. I didn't mind. I had no choice but to wait. And I didn't want to drive all the way back home because it would have been 3 hours total going in and out. So I decided to stay and bite the bullet and wait for as long as I needed to. I'm super lucky that it was a nice day, but it was also very hot. I've ended up meeting some cool people who also try to get there early a few hours after I showed up there, and it was a good time. 3 o'clock finally comes and the parking lot opens to the public. I'm one of the very first people to enter the venue, and I get a very good parking spot, and I'm right next to the venue. I secure my spot in line, and I'm one of the first people to wait online, and I was very happy. I also met some very cool people that I can call my friends, and it was just an awesome time getting to know them, and just to be there, I was just happy overall. As I'm waiting in line, I get hit with a pretty cool surprise. The first time I played guitar with Post Malone in Long Island, there were also people from that same concert who were also waiting in line at the recent show that I was at. They saw me waiting in line, they came up to me, and they remembered who I was, and it was just so awesome. I've had at least maybe 10 different people that came up to me who were at the first show that I played guitar. It was so cool getting to see them again. It definitely caught me off guard in a good way, and they asked me if I was trying to do the same thing again for this recent show, and I told them, of course I am. And I showed them the poster, they all got pumped, and they were rooting for me. A few hours into waiting in line before the show started, organizers from the concert were telling everybody who was waiting that no posters were allowed into the concert. I got nervous after they said that, and I didn't take my poster out after they informed everybody about that. But I did the same exact thing like I did last year. I folded it up as much as I could for it to fit into my pocket, and I finessed all the security at the show, and I was able to get into the concert with no issues with my poster. The doors open, we finally get inside, and I got a very good spot for Post to see me with my poster later on. Post gets on stage at exactly 9:05, and that's when it was my cue to hold up my poster. He played WoW as his second song, and midway through the song, I was holding up my poster. As he walked towards me, he saw me holding a poster, he pointed and he gave me a thumbs up. Exactly like last year. And now the time finally comes as it gets closer to stay. He plays Feeling Whitney before, and once he finishes playing that song, that's when I held up my sign. He sees me holding it up, and he calls me up on stage. So much was happening during that moment, and it's still insane that I ended up getting up on stage with him for a second time. I showed him the picture that we first took together at the UBS Arena. He yelled out, yeah. He remembered my face, but he didn't remember my name, which is understandable because he's been traveling for months on end. I ended up performing for 30,000 people. That's double the amount of people from the first show. And honestly, I was not nervous at all. And I felt very comfortable to be up on stage just to perform for everyone. The first time I played for that many people, of course I was nervous. My left foot could not stop shaking. And when I played with him for a second time, I didn't have to worry about that at all. And I was pretty calm about it. It was just such an incredible feeling playing for all those people and just to play with one of my favorite artists. So many great things happened right after I played guitar with him. I'm not gonna say too much, but I will say I got his guitar pick, he signed my poster, and he also signed my arm, and this is my very first tattoo, and I do not regret it at all. Check this out. How cool is that? He wrote his initials, and he drew 2 hearts. Now the hearts, they kind of look broken, but the Sharpie slipped off my arm as he was signing it. But that's okay. Now anytime I look at my tattoo, I'm always gonna look back on that iconic moment. And it just has a lot of meaning behind it. And it's also a great story to tell to anybody who asks about my tattoo. As I walked backstage, his whole band was waiting there, and they were just all amazed by how I did. And they all said I did a very great job. It just felt very cool to hear that. As I walked back into the pit, I got approached by so many people, more than the first show, and it was just such an incredible feeling. Now, not too many people can share a story like that. I'm extremely grateful that Post Malone gave me this second opportunity to go up on stage and play for 30,000 people. It was just an incredible and beautiful moment, and it's something that I will always cherish forever. As I mentioned earlier, That day was super high, and I almost passed out before I went up on stage. And I was suffering from dehydration. It's not the smartest choice anybody can make, but like I said, I was dedicated to go up on stage, and I was trying not to drink as much water so I would not force myself to go to the bathroom. Because if I would have left, I would have lost my spot, and this would have not have been possible. But yes, I did drink some water before I went up on stage, but I was trying to limit myself for an obvious reason. This is something I don't recommend to most people, especially on a hot day. I cannot stress this enough. Please make sure you are hydrated. But all in all, it was worth it, and this was one of the best days of my entire life. Alright, that pretty much wraps up the video. Thank you so much for sticking towards the end to listen to my story. I hope you all enjoyed it. So with that being said, don't forget to give this video a like for more content like this. Hit the bell for notifications whenever I post a new video. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And other than that, I'll catch you all in the next video. I'm out.